What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Bourbon Bass. Really bass and bourbon this time. Man, I've had something on my mind that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. Just got home from a 3-week grinder. We had 3 tournaments in a row. Bassmaster Elite Series. We went Guntersville, I stunk, 50s. Santee Cooper, got myself top 10. And then we went to the last one that we just come back from, Lake Chickamauga. I drew a blank there. Chickamauga, horrible day 1, 2 fish, 3.5 pounds. Second day, 18 pounds, moved up to in the top 20. And then third day was terrible, never caught a fish, fog delay. I think I missed the feeding window on the fish, or there just wasn't enough back there, either way. But we're gonna start off with bass this time because I've thought something for years, and I really think it's true now. Do bass only spawn in the springtime? No. Especially Florida string bass. I have seen it with my own eyes, fish spawning in October in Seminole. Everybody knows that those fish start spawning in the fall in Florida. Do you think that's the only place those fish spawn other than the springtime, fall? No, I do not. Santee Cooper had a top 10 there. A lot of you guys saw Bass Live. I was fishing a wacky worm. I was fishing a Missile Baits 48 wacky style weightless cypress trees. Just painfully whack. I mean, you gotta sit there and let that thing just slowly fall, and they would grab it eventually. But to my point, a few different things were going on there that I want you to think about before you think I'm just totally nuts, because I do 100% think that some of the fish that I was catching, especially the bigger females, were trying to spawn. First off, when we got to Santee Cooper and we started practice, we had a couple of weeks of cool weather. Water temps got down in upper 60s, and then come time of the tournament, they started to warm back up. Then the water temps went back up, 72, 74. So think about that. Other thing, the weekend we were fishing, we were on a full moon. Okay? So, again, it's fall, right? No way, okay? I had 4 of my 5 biggest fish in that tournament. I would flick a wacky worm in there. I'd see a bull, running something. Okay, fish is just eating right. I'd flick in there and catch a little male. And I was like, that ain't the same fish that just rolled, so I'd flick the wacky worm right back in there, and I'd catch a female. They would be fat, blowed up, messed up tail. So that still doesn't mean anything, right? No, still doesn't mean anything. So my big fish at the tournament, and Andy Crawford, photographer, was on me when this happened. Flicked my little Missile Baits 48 underneath the tree, let it sit there, line jump, leaned into it. I knew it was a big one. And I kept telling Andy, man, this is a giant. Never saw the fish. So I got her out away from the tree, trolled her out. She run me out to the middle, followed her for 20 seconds. The fish pulls off. So I lose my shit, of course, and said a few choice words that I will not repeat here. I'm glad it was a camera taking picturs and not a video on me. Of course, I would have been better if it had been that way. So I sat down, drank some water, retied my little Gamakatsu number 2 stinger hook, got my composure back in order, went over there. I was probably 2 minutes or so, and went back and flipped my little Missile Baits 48 back up there, same exact spot. Line jumps again, leaned into this one, and it was a 7-12. 7-12. Could it have been a different fish? Maybe. What's the possibilities of it being the same fish? Pretty good. So name me another situation where a big fish, not just a fish in general, but a big fish, you will hook it, drag it all the way out from a tree, fight it, it comes off, and you flick back in and you catch the same fish again. I don't know of any other time that would happen other than the springtime and a fish trying to spawn. In my opinion, I think many of those fish that I were catching in there were trying to spawn. All of my big bites were coming later in the day on the cypress trees. The sun would warm the water up and push them up there. How many times, and one of the best times of the year to get up and actually see fish moving around would be, January, February. If it's super cold and you get slick, you get slick calm weather, sun's up high, you get up shallow if you're in clear water, and fish cruising up there. They like the warmth. How many times do you see fish that are 4 or 5 inches long in January? Up there, 3, 4, little bitty ones, swimming around in January. No way that those fish were born in the March the year before. The growth rate of a largemouth bass, especially Florida string, is well beyond that. Those are fish that spawned, that hatched in the fall. It just, do the math on it. Now, maybe way up north, the growth rate of those fish up there just aren't quite what they are in the South, largemouth, especially Florida string bass. I have seen it with my own eyes in Seminole in October. Most anybody who lives in Florida or has fished in Florida in the fall know that those fish start spawning in. So riddle me this: what other situation would that happen? Now, why would they not do it in Santee Cooper, but they'll do it just a few hundred miles south of that? I 100% think fish spawn off season. Do I think they all spawn year round? No. Do I think the bigger ones do? Yes, I absolutely think that. It's not something you hear a whole lot of people talk about. Am I saying that you need to go out and start sight fishing in the fall? No. But you get a situation like we had at Santee Cooper, where it was cool for a couple of weeks, water temperature dropped, it warmed back up, full moon, yes, those fish were trying to spawn. I 100% think it. I haven't really said anything. There's a few people that I've called and I've talked to it about it, and they all say, hey, it makes sense. But I 100% think the fish that I were catching in Santee Cooper were trying to spawn. Everything made sense for it. And just think about it the next time you're, December, January, February, and you see little bitty bass swimming around up there. The growth rate on largemouth is well beyond that. They're typically a pound a year, give or take. And if just, okay, the fish's growth is stunted. I'm telling you, a 3 or 4 inch bass is not going to last 10 months. He's just not going to do it. He's going to get 8. The growth rate is just, it's too much. 100%, I'm telling you, fish spawn off season. Am I telling you to go pattern it? No. But I'm telling you, if you're fishing in the fall and you had conditions like we just had, full moon, water temps changing, they're cooler, get a warm front, I'm telling you, Florida string bass will try to spawn, especially big ones. Now, I can promise you next time I'm fishing the fall and the springtime, that I'm fishing in the fall and a situation like that occurs, I'm going to think differently. And it wasn't until about midway through that tournament that I really started thinking about it, and everything made sense. And I really think those fish were trying to spawn. So you may laugh at me. I don't care. This is my show. Do whatever I want. Hey, and if the whole 3 or 4 people that watch this thing laugh at me, that's okay too. But guys, I'm telling you, fish do not just spawn in the springtime, especially Florida string bass. They absolutely spawn in times other than the springtime. Fish do spawn. And they don't just spawn in the springtime, I'm telling you. So, laugh at me, whatever, it's fine. But I'm telling you, they spawn in the fall. So, that's something I really wanted to talk to you guys about. And I said, man, I haven't really said much because I wanted to wait until I got home. Bourbon Bass, perfect platform for it, because I don't, I talk about whatever's on my mind here, but somebody tell me another situation where all of those things work together and those situations happen, and you can't, because I think, yeah, I digress. So, that's really what was on my mind. I'm not going to go through a bunch of bourbon with you guys. I love bourbon. E.H. Taylor stopped in a little hole-in-the-wall place in Lake Chickamauga. They had a bottle of E.H. Taylor in there. Picked it up. Hard to find. Great. Buffalo Trace Distillery. We'll talk about this one next week for the bourbon episode. But other than that, cheers. Start thinking differently when you have those situations in the fall. Just keep that in your mind, because I know I will. But guys, thank you for watching. Don't think I'm crazy, and I won't think you're crazy, but I'm telling you, it happens. All right, guys, thank y'all, everybody, for watching. Much appreciated. Got about a week and a half at home, then we go to Lake Fork. No, I will not be looking for spawning fish in Lake Fork, so everybody just laugh it up. Or maybe I will. Interesting. Lake Fork, we leave next weekend. 2 weeks at home, going again. Last one of the season, then we're done. So, little R&R, cleaned up the yard, getting stuff ready to leave again. But fish spawn in the fall. They spawn in the spring. Bourbon's good. Peace out. Dream big, guys. Thank y'all for watching. We will see you guys next week. Later.